New season, new rules. At the end of January 2025, artistic swimming just got a major upgrade. Fewer required elements, a little bit different scoring, and greater penalties are just the beginning. And here is the game changer. Artistic impression, especially transitions, will play a bigger role in scoring in artistic swimming routines. So if you are wondering what that means for you and your routines, make sure you watch this video from the beginning to the end. Hi there, welcome to Synchro Secrets, the go-to place for all things artistic swimming. My name is Agata and I am an artistic swimming coach and a content creator. And today I am going to dive deeper into the new rules that were introduced this year, 2025, and I'm going to talk a little bit more detailed on what that means for us, artistic swimming coaches, judges, technical controllers, and of course, athletes. But before I start, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel so you never miss any artistic swimming related videos from me. One of the most noticeable changes in the new season is the reduction of required elements. That means that the athletes will need to perform less hybrids and less acrobatic movements and can focus on transitions and artistic impression as well. So for example, in the technical solo, there is only 6 required elements instead of 7. And in the team 3 routines, they drop from 11 to 9 required elements. While this means fewer count of hybrids or acrobatic movements, that doesn't mean that the routines will get easier. It means that the focus is a little bit shifted. And this brings me to the second point. Artistic impression takes the central stage, and especially transitions. Now transitions are more valued by judges, and they will score how seamlessly the routine looks, how creative everything is, and obviously in transition, also the execution of transition is important as well. So for example, if the athlete is doing an egg beater, it has to be executed well. So it cannot be egg beatering like till their chin. Now it matters more. The transitions take more weight. That means that the coaches, choreographers, and athletes now have to pay closer attention to the creativity and, the execution of transitions. But it's not only that, because the whole artistic impression score will be more valued. So we are talking about creativity in hybrids as well, or how well performed the routine is in terms of the performance, the musicality, the choreography, and so on and so on. So if you're a coach or a choreographer, make sure that you pay attention to that part as well. When it comes to technical routines, a few changes have been introduced to required technical elements that every athlete performing technical routines have to do. And especially if you look at the duet for women, we can see that the element number 3 has been changed to a flamingo bent knee rollback, transitioning into a vertical twist and finishing with a split walkout. Additionally, we can see a lot of changes in the mixed duets because we only have 3 required technical elements and the rest is pushing more into the creative side of the routine, which I think is a very nice addition and a nice change for the mixed duets. And the next change in the new rules is that there is no more apnea limits. That means that it's no more apnea limits for juniors, but also for younger categories like youth. And as I said before, the required elements have dropped. So I guess the judges are hoping that they will see more transitions and not just athletes suffocating under the water to push for this difficulty. I'm pretty sure that this will happen as well, because obviously everyone is pushing for the difficulty as much as possible, and that means for the athletes they have to do very long hybrids, but also with the updated transitions also, I am hoping that this will be a little bit more balanced and we will not only see hybrids. I am very hoping that we will also see transitions, because I think the coaches also have to take into consideration the safety of the athletes, right? If they cannot perform a hybrid sitting under the water for so long, they should not do it. It's especially for younger athletes, it's not safe for their development. And yeah, they need to breathe, right? So I'm hoping this will also be included in the transitions as well. Now, the next major change is about penalties, and the penalties now just got higher. And I think it's because now the routines get higher points because of the difficulty. Back in the days, the routines were not exceeding 300 points. Now they do. And now I guess the penalties also have to be higher. So for example, if your routine is longer than it's supposed to be, than it's stated at the document, then you will get 8 points penalty for that. So please make sure that you stick to what is written, and there is a whole document stating what you can get penalty for and how many points and all of this. So I refer you to the World Aquatics document. And as I mentioned before, the mixed duet also got major changes. And first of all, they only do 3 technical elements, but they also have required surface connections that, they have to do a connection that is not a hybrid, so they have to do it on the surface. So that's gonna be quite interesting to see what the mixed duets are gonna come up with. And with the competitions coming up, the season is starting to come up, and more competitions will be using the new rules as well. So I'm very interested to see the connections and what routines would look like. And maybe, actually, I just had an idea. Maybe I will make a video with all the connections from mixed duets. I think that would be quite interesting because then we can, get some creativity out of there and see what people come up with as well. Now, the next change we have is updated difficulty table. And right now we have some changes. We have a new family because in the old rules we have spins, twists, swirls, all of this together in the family called rotations. Right now the spins is one family, twists, swirls and all of that is a separate family. So if we are thinking about spins, a spin is when you spin up and down, and twists, twirls, two-directional twists, they are all done on one level. They should be on one height level, not going up and down. So yes, those families were separate. We also have a new definition for the hybrid, because back in the days, a hybrid was called or was considered when we had 3 underwater, or I think even 3 or 2 underwater movements, and that was a hybrid. Right now, if a hybrid is stated, that means it has at least 5 movements with head underwater, so intentional apnea. And if the hybrid has less than 5 movements, this is already considered as a transition. So if you want to include like a quick walkout or something that only has 4 movements, then for sure you can do it as an artistic impression, as a transition. This will add to the artistic impression score. And of course, the whole difficulty table was a little bit updated when it comes to the difficulty scores. So that changed as well a little bit. And we have a clear definition of, for example, how high the barracuda has to come out, or the T9 has to come out. So it's not a base mark. So if you are declaring a T9, which is a thrust with catching, and then you can do any other skill, the thrust with catching has to come out at the height of your waist, which is 8.5. If it's lower, then it's a base mark. And we have many examples of that as well in different families. For example, if you declare a spin, it has to start at least at the 3.5 height level, right? If it's lower, it's a base mark. The spin is not gonna be valued. Or also how many drops in level you can do in the twist before it's a base mark. So there is a lot of more clarity, a lot of more clarification of what is a spin, what is a twist, what is a twirl, in all types of thrusts, barracudas and so on. All of this is more defined, and you can find this in the World Aquatics document. And the last change that I wanted to talk about is about acrobatic moves. Yes, they are a little bit more simplified. It doesn't really matter how the athletes are gonna set up under the water, because in the old rules we were looking like how many athletes do we have? Do we have like 6 or 9 or 8, or, that was important. How do they connect, and so on and so on. Right now, that's not important. It doesn't matter if we have 5, 4, or 8 athletes, which is nice because I thought that was a little bit confusing. And we can also see a little bit more artistry added to the acrobatic movements, because now in the routine, for example, in the team, the same acrobatic movement cannot be done. Okay, so the coaches and the athletes have to be a little bit more creative when it comes to construction of the acrobatic movement, or how they grip, like how they hold each other, and so on, what the positions are of the flyer and the person on top of the platform, for example. So this is all important, and it cannot repeat. So I think this is going to be quite interesting to watch, because we are going to see more creativity when it comes to acrobatic movements. Not like back in the days when everyone, like 1 or 2 years ago, when everyone was doing the same acrobatic movement and all the routines were actually the same. Now I am very interested and very excited to see maybe new moves, and I think it's gonna be pretty nice to watch as well. And when it comes to free hybrids, we also have some restrictions when it comes to how many times you can repeat one movement. So for example, if you want to include a twirl, you can only include this family of the twirls. So the family of twirls, which is twists and twirls, you can only include 5 times. But if you want to include one twirl 5 times, it's gonna be a base mark. I'm talking about one hybrid, okay, in one hybrid. So in one hybrid, you can only include twirl 3 times, and then 2 more times different move from the same family. I hope that makes sense. It's a little bit confusing maybe, but from one family, so you have thrusts, spins, twirls, airborne weight, connections, flexibility. You can include from each family 5 movements, 5 skills from each family in one hybrid. But from one movement, so let's say you want to show the split, fast split opening, F1, F1A, I think. Fast split opening. You only can do this 3 times in one hybrid, plus 2 more other flexibility movements in one hybrid. So I hope that makes sense. If not, let me know in the comments under this video, and I'm going to record another video about, difficulty table, and I can explain it hopefully a little bit better with examples and so on. So if you are interested in something like that, let me know under this video. The 2025 rules put more weight on transitions and artistic impression with lower required elements in the routines. And I'm pretty curious to hear from you, to know what you think about those changes. Do you like the new changes? Do you have any objections, or are you scared a little bit? Let me know in the comments of this video. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and you subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video.